Well, we talked about mission, vision, and values. And so now maybe the next step is how do we set goals around that so that we move our mission, vision forward, incorporate our values through the organization? I know you do strategy and are pretty good at it. What does it mean to do strategy? I mean, what does that look like anywhere? Business, organizations, personally? What is it?
I so appreciate you asking me that question, Heath. Strategy is one of my all-time favorite things to do. Most companies that we work with, because they've already decided they want to be excellent, they're already doing a lot of good things, are at least smart enough to have some sort of strategic planning process, right? The executives all go to a retreat and they spend some time thinking about what they want to accomplish. Where I personally think strategy becomes the most exciting is what happens after that. Because so often, everyone who wasn't on the retreat has no idea what they're supposed to be doing. And so while it's great that this organization has a 50-year capital plan or a 3 to 5 year growth objective, as an employee, I want to know what's my focus in a short time frame, maybe for the next 90 days, for the next year. So operationalizing that strategy is what I think is interesting. Have you seen any good tools for doing that?
So I have. I actually work with organizations and carry this with me. But after the strategic plan is done, I always suggest they convert it to one page. Typically, it's the same for the executives and directors. Sometimes they might change it, but then it goes everywhere with you. And so for me, I look at this, I call it the bookends. If I've got a strategy, I want to know what my frontline supervisors or what I'm doing daily. So I take it all the way down to a daily journal to make sure my actions are lining up with it. And it can be daily, weekly, or whatever. And to me, it's almost like health. I mean, I've been kind of working on my health. And if I just read a plan or but I don't change how I eat or do those things, it doesn't work. I mean, do you know what I mean by that?
Absolutely, Heath. That's actually my favorite example for how to make this exciting and engaging for the workforce. So I'll be very transparent. I always have a goal of losing 10 pounds by swimsuit season, right? Mm-hmm. So that would be the vision, or maybe in this context, maybe more my long-term objective, right? That's what I want to have happen. Now, is it going to be helpful to me if you call me in 90 days and say, hey, Heather, how'd that go? Did you lose the 10 pounds?
Maybe if you know I'm going to call you, but I don't know what that does for you day in and day out.
Right. I think what would be more helpful to me, Heath, would be if you would say, hey, let's make a plan to go to the gym this week. Hey, we're going to have salad tonight. You want to come over and eat? Can I help you remember to pack an apple in your lunch tomorrow? So that space between the long term of what we want, but down to the specific actions that we want the workforce to take is where I really enjoy making strategy happen. So you absolutely need the long-term thinking of where you're going and all the external environment that you have to do it in. For me, this becomes the most compelling though, when the people in the organization understand why their work matters and why they're supposed to be doing it.
So I like this, and I mentioned the bookends. And I think the sweet spot of the bookends is if you're putting together a strategy or high-level goals as an executive team, really where the rubber meets the road is where your frontline supervisor is working with the frontline person to carry that out. And if they're not aligned through all the systems and everything, the chances you're going to hit that goals is fairly minimal. When there's high levels of alignment and then the habits follow, it just works really well. And so maybe to simplify this, it seems to me like strategy is just really your top 4 or 5 goals, and then the discipline to align it all through the organization and move it daily. Is that kind of what you've seen be effective?
Absolutely. And it also sounds like to me that on our next episode, we should talk about how to get the workers on board and excited about that. What do you think?
I love it. What do you think they should do this week around their strategy?
Before we leave today, let me ask you this. What is the most significant action you can take in the next 90 days to advance whatever that strategy is that you wrote at your retreat?